Hello there guys, my name is Jacob and welcome back to another episode of the Space Engineers Spotlights. Firstly, I just want to say sorry there wasn't a video on Friday. It was quite a hectic day, so I never managed to do anything, so I kind of just skipped until the Monday. But hopefully you guys are alright with that. And I've got a really cool build to show you, and this thing is super detailed and has had a few mods created for it, and it works really well. And of course it is the YT-1300 by the Milkman. Now this ship is commonly known as the Millennium Falcon, but the ship type is a YT-1300. So this is basically a light freighter, and of course it is off Star Wars. Now this thing just amazed me on the workshop, and I was amazed nobody else had actually had a look at it in a lot more detail and saw what coolness was about in here. But it's really freaking epic, the amount of detail that's actually gone into this, and the fact that it's quite light on frames. I'm actually getting about 40 frames with this, and yeah, it looks a bit beaten up and battered, but I think that's the whole look, because the Millennium Falcon just was, you know, a battered old ship that everyone used to joke about being a piece of junk. But after getting this model as a piece of Lego for Christmas, I decided to say screw it, let's have a look at this, let's do some more Star Wars stuff. And being as I've been building the Slave and everything else, screw it. So this is it, and as you can see, we've got the iconic the spray coming out of the nozzles, which I really loved the look of when I first came into this world. I was like, what is that? Is that legitimately spray that comes out the bottom? And it does. I think it's when you get close to it or get to certain points on sensors they go off. There we go. So I think they just go off every now and then on some of them, and some of them go off when you walk by them. But either way, it's really cool. We've got the loading ramp on the well, on the side, and we've also got the two cannons. We have the one down below and the one, of course, on the top, which is really nicely done. These do go up and down. I'm unsure about rotation. I'm unsure if he's managed to figure that out, but either way they fire, so we can actually have a play around with them and of course fly it. So one of the things he did mention was a problem is some things can break at high speed because they're not locked down properly. So the rotors and hinges on, say, this door and on the base of the feet could potentially break throughout this video. So if it does, that is why. It's just Space Engineers being a bit janky still, but they did try and rectify that in previous updates. So let's go inside. So as we walk on inside, it maintains the very iconic sort of, you know, setting and layout in here. It's very detailed. So as we come back here, we have the monitor, and I think Chewie's on that monitor at one stage on one of the films. That's really cool. We come back around here, we got all the cargo space back here, a lot of piping, and it looks very busy in here and very disorganized to say the least. But we got all this cargo space back here, which is nice. And as we come around here, we have the living quarters, which has a lot of different things in here. So we got some cargo containers here and some beds, which is quite nicely tucked away. And then of course we come through here, and we just have a bit of a corridor that leads to not really anywhere. I actually thought that was a door, but it's not. Being a bit weird, but I did think it was a door. It looks like a door. But either way, we come through to the main hallway area, which has, of course, the table in and the game. That is a really cool model, and I really liked that touch. It was very nice to have it. And of course, this is a small ship, so we can put a lot of detail into this. So we have a few cockpits and whatnot. We do have the main cockpit, which as you come through into where the cockpits are, we have 4 seats. Now these are only passenger seats because they've actually put the control or the controlling cockpit in the middle, so it's actually easier to fly, because flying it from the side like you would in the film is actually quite difficult. So we're not going to do that. We're going to do it from the way the world creator, ship creator, has actually wanted it to be flown, which of course is through the center. So it's a really nice cockpit. We've got a lot of detail in here. Again, we got the glass, the iconic framework, and then we got 4 seats in here, so you can all sit down and just have a laugh and a giggle, enjoy the ride, enjoy the flight. And as we come back through the corridor from the cockpit, we then also have the seats for the turrets. which again, you can put the controls onto. If you jump in these seats, it doesn't have any control in it, but you could probably put the. Well, you can't actually. So you actually need to put more cockpits in here to allow it. They do warp you out of the ship when you you jump out of them, but that's no real biggie. You just get back in. But those are just aesthetic by the looks of things. There is no actual way of controlling these turrets, or is there? No, there isn't. That is the same, is it? Yeah, it's the same. So you do have to control these turrets from another cockpit. Being as there's only one, I'm assuming you control them as the pilot, but I don't know. So we have this screen here with lots of buttons and stuff on, and what we can actually do is we can jump in this tiny cockpit, which I never actually thought was a cockpit, but it is. And this is where you control everything from. So if we actually jump out of the ship and press 1, we will actually have full control over the ship. And when we hit 1 and 3, we'll bring up the ramp and everything and the landing gear. And then as we pull up, the lights come on the back. I think he's got some internal thrusters and whatnot. And yeah, it's quite cool how it does that. I would wish for actual thrusters, but I think that'd probably be a bit buggy and a bit laggy. But it does fly quite well. It's very responsive, to say the least. There is no sound really for these thrusters because they're inside. You get the odd sound when you're flying up and down, but there's not a lot really. We do have the 5, which I believe turns on the spotlight. So we got the lights on the front, which enable us to see in front of us. And then if we hit 8, we will change to the Millennium Falcon cannons, which he's called them, and they make the noise and do all the business. It's so good to fly this thing. Now, flying this thing does bring your frames down quite a lot, and the lights actually intensify, I believe, as are they intensifying? They seem to be getting a lot brighter nearer away. Yeah, so as we push even further away from something, the lights actually brighten up, which does decrease your frames a little bit. But look at it, man. Look at it. It's freaking gorgeous. I mean, again, it's a bit laggy, but oh well. You're flying the Millennium Falcon. I'll try not to pull off too many maneuvers, like listing lazily to the left. But yeah, it's really, really cool. I really like this ship. It's just the same shape. It's the right size. And this is the sort of thing I'm trying to do with some of the builds I'm currently doing, which is making stuff to scale, or to Space Engineers scale. Again, it's taking some getting used to, but it's quite interesting to do. And this is probably one of the most detailed I've ever seen. So thank you to the Milkman for producing this. It's honestly a pleasure to just fly around in this thing and just enjoy it, because you never really get to fly the Millennium Falcon that often, do you? So yeah, so that is it really. I mean, if you guys want to go and check out this build, go and check it out on the workshop. I'll leave the link in the description below. If you guys have enjoyed the video, then please like, favorite, and of course subscribe for more. I hope you've had a good New Year's, and I will see you guys later. Peace!